power poles across a section of the country where a new factory was being built. A business that evidently required fiber optic cable for high-speed internet. Why they'd chosen the middle of nowhere for this facility was a mystery no one had yet explained to me. But ours was not to question why. Ours was just to lift nets filled with crates of tools and the nuts and bolts type stuff, along with food and water for the ground crew and the occasional rolls of cable. Or so I'd been told. If the job foreman showed up, we would soon know. Mainly, I hoped we would have decent lodgings with warm blankets on the beds. I could tell already that the temperature had begun to drop the minute I shut down the heater in the cockpit. Drake reached into the back seat for his coat and handed me a jacket as well. I set the rotor brake and slipped my arms into the cozy fleece. When I looked up, I saw a short man with bandy legs and a barrel chest walking toward the helicopter. He wore baggy jeans, a red flannel shirt, and a cap with ear flaps. The New England image was alive and well. He had red hair and a beard to match, vivid blue eyes with squint wrinkles radiating from the corners, and a smile revealing uneven teeth. He walked up to Drake and shook hands. "Jed McAllister?" He introduced himself as I walked around the nose of the aircraft.
"Drake Langston, and this is my wife, Charlie Parker."
I could tell Drake immediately liked the guy. Jed greeted me without a quiz about my name, saving me from the explanation that it's really Charlotte, and the way-too-old story about my brothers tagging me with the nickname because I'd been such a tomboy as a kid. I have to admit, beyond 35 now, I'm much more into creature comforts. We tied down the rotor blades, locked the doors, and retrieved our bags from the cargo compartment on the Jet Ranger's left side. Considering that we'd left New Mexico more than a week ago, packing only 3 days' worth of clothes, one of my first concerns would be to find a laundromat. Jed led the way through the lobby to the tiny FBO, giving a speedy introduction to the guy behind the desk, Harry. As far as I could tell, he was the only person working at the facility, at least for the moment. In the parking lot outside the chain-link fence that separated the real world from the aviation world, Jed pointed toward a white Ford Explorer that must have been 10 years old. "That's yours for the duration," he said. "We'll do a quick tour of Safeport so's you get your bearings, and I'll show you the inn where we booked you a room. I think you'll find it comfortable. Just don't let old Mrs. Comfrey boss you around too much. She tends to do that." We busied ourselves stashing our things in the back of the SUV and taking seats. Jed drove, with Drake in the shotgun seat and me in the back. I saw what Jed meant by the quick tour. The entire town consisted of one main drag, which followed the coastline, and a web of side streets with the type of clapboard houses I'd spotted from the air. The church, the supermarket, 2 gas stations, a bookshop, an auto parts store, and a coin laundry, flanked the main street, which was imaginatively called Main Street. At Safeport's one traffic signal, we turned left. At the next corner sat a large 3-story building with wraparound porches, gingerbread trim, and a sign, Wayside Inn B&B. It exuded New England charm. The muted sage and cream paint created a calming color scheme. Wicker furniture groupings and potted plants gave the porches a homey feel. Pumpkins and potted chrysanthemums put bright spots of color on the steps all along the cobbled walkway. Tall trees in flaming shades of yellow, orange, and red completed the picture. "I'll leave you here," Jed said as we pulled our bags from the car. "The missus wanted me to invite you over for dinner." He waved up the street. "1 block up, 2 blocks over, yellow house with a skiff on the trailer parked in the driveway. Hope you don't mind lobster." I assured him I would never, ever, ever mind having a lobster dinner. "All righty, then. Drive on over when you're ready. She likes to put the meal on the table around 6. With that, he started off, walking in the direction he'd indicated for home. We looked up at the front porch of the inn to see a sturdy woman wearing a flowered house dress and cardigan, her arms crossed over her ample chest. Brown overpermed frizz framed a plump face, and the deep grooves beside her mouth indicated that she probably didn't smile a whole lot. Mrs. Comfrey. "Jed says you folks go..."